The Haunting of York Theatre Royal, a true ghost story from the stage. York Theatre Royal, one of the most beloved and historic theatres in the United Kingdom, has been a cultural staple in the city for centuries. Its stunning architecture, rich history, and grand performances have captured the imaginations of audiences for years. However, beneath the elegant chandeliers and velvety curtains lies a darker side, a haunted past that refuses to stay silent. Known for its theatrical performances and its place in York's artistic scene, York Theatre Royal also has a reputation for being one of the most haunted venues in the country. From ghostly apparitions to unexplained sounds, the theatre's rich history has left an indelible mark on those who have dared to work or visit there. The stories surrounding its ghostly inhabitants are a chilling testament to the spirits that have made the theatre their permanent home. The history of York Theatre Royal dates back to 1744 when it first opened as a small playhouse. Over the centuries, it has undergone many renovations and changes, but it has always maintained its place as a central figure in the city's cultural life. The building is situated on the site of an older theatre, and as is often the case with historic structures, it carries with it the memories and tragedies of those who passed through its doors. The Theatre Royal's ghosts aren't simply tied to the building's age, but are believed to be connected to the history of its performances and the dramatic events that have taken part and place behind the scenes. Many of the hauntings that plague the theatre are thought to be the restless spirits of those who once graced its stage, both in life and death. One of the most persistent and well known apparitions to haunt York Theatre Royal is the figure of a Victorian actor. Described as a man dressed in an old fashioned tattered costume, the actor has seen both backstage and the auditorium, or has at least been seen in both the backstage and auditorium. My apologies. His appearance is often fleeting, as though he is in the middle of a performance, but there is a sense of sorrow and unfinished business about him. Numerous staff members and actors have reported glimpsing the actor in the dressing rooms, where he stands motionless for a moment before vanishing. His movements are described as purposeful, as though he is preparing for a performance that never came to be. Some say he can be heard mumbling lines under his breath, though no one else is present. The most chilling incident occurred when a member of the theatre's staff was working late one evening, preparing the stage for the next day's rehearsal. As they entered the dressing room, they noticed the figure of a man standing in front of a mirror, adjusting his costume. Thinking it was a fellow staff member, the employee approached, only to find the room empty when they turned back. The air was icy cold, and a sense of dread filled the room. Another ghost that is often spotted at York Theatre Royal is that of a woman dressed in mourning attire. She is seen sitting in one of the upper balconies, quietly observing the performance below. The woman's face is said to be pale and emotionless, with eyes that seem to pierce the air. Some witnesses have even reported hearing her sigh softly or whispering under her breath, though her words are never clear. A chilling account from an audience member describes how, during a live performance, they noticed the woman in the balcony, watching intently. As the play progressed, they could feel her gaze on them. When the show ended and the lights came up, the woman had disappeared, and no trace of her could be found. When they asked staff about her, they were told that no one had been seated in the balcony during the performance. Some believe that the woman's spirit is linked to a tragic love story from the theatre's past. It is said that she was once a young woman who attended a performance in the 19th century to watch her lover perform, but her lover was tragically killed during a scene on stage, leaving the woman heartbroken. It is believed that her spirit has never left, bound to the theatre by the love she lost. Many visitors to York Theatre Royal have reported hearing unexplained sounds, whispers, footsteps, and the unmistakable sound of a piano playing on its own. One particularly eerie incident occurred when a group of performers were rehearsing on stage late at night. As they practiced, they heard a piano being played in the distance, even though no piano was in sight. The sound echoed through the empty theatre, and when they went to investigate, they found no one there. Staff has also heard strange, unexplained noises in the backstage area, soft knocks on the doors, whispers from the wings, and even the sound of objects moving. It is though the entire theatre itself is alive with the presence of spirits, all still connected to the world of performance. On one occasion, a stagehand was working late, alone in the theatre. As they walked down the dark corridor, they heard the faint sound of applause. Startled, they rushed to the stage but found it empty. The applause continued, echoing through the dark auditorium. When they turned around, a gust of cold air swept through the corridor, and the sound stopped abruptly. The backstage area of York Theatre Royal is notorious for its ghostly encounters. The narrow corridors, dim lighting, and winding passages create an eerie atmosphere, especially after hours. Staff and actors have reported seeing shadowy figures moving in the wings, often in the corner of their vision. These figures are described as fleeting or almost like apparitions from another time, watching silently from the shadows. One of the most unsettling experiences occurred when an actor preparing for a night's performance saw a dark figure standing in one of the wings of the stage. At first, they thought it was another performer, but when they went to speak to the figure, they found the area completely empty. The figure had disappeared without a trace. The actor later confessed that they had felt an overwhelming sense of being watched, as though someone or something was waiting for them. York Theatre Royal is undoubtedly a place of art, culture, and history, but it's also a place where the boundaries between the living and dead seem to blur. The spirits of past performers, audience members, and even forgotten figures from the theatre's long history. My apologies, people. From the theatre's long history, continue to make their presence known, often in the most unsettling of ways. The ghosts that haunt the theatre do not appear to be malicious or violent. Instead, they seem to be remnants of a bygone era. Spirits who are drawn to the stage, still lingering in the place where they once found joy, sorrow, or love. But for those who venture into the theatre's darkened corridors or sit in the balcony during a performance, the knowledge that the ghosts of the past might still be watching, perhaps even applauding, can be both exhilarating and terrifying. If you're intrigued by true ghost stories and want to hear more chilling tales from the world of haunted theatres and historic sites, don't forget to subscribe for daily updates. We share spine tingling stories that will leave you questioning whether the supernatural is lurking just around the corner. Thank you.